So when they met together, they asked him, "Lord, are you at this time going to restore the kingdom to Israel?" He said to them, "It is not for you to know the times or dates the Father has set by his own authority, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." After he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. They were looking intently up into the sky as he was going, when suddenly 2 men dressed in white stood beside them. "Men of Galilee," they said, "why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus who has been taken from you into heaven will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven."
Yeah, here's Bob Hatton from Germany. Nice to see you, or I can't see you, but I hope you can see me. It's good that you've tuned in again for another edition of Encouraging Words. We just heard in the reading that the very last question that the disciples asked Jesus was about him restoring the kingdom for Israel. The very last question. They had the opportunity to ask Jesus many questions. He'd been with them for 3 years. They've spent hours talking together. And now the very last question, what they ask is, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel again? The very last question. And it's the wrong question. Jesus says more or less, mind your own business. There's something more important that I want to tell you, and that is that you will receive power after the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. This is more important than wanting to know other things. Now, we are in the midst of the coronavirus crisis. That is, I'm probably we're in the second half. Hopefully it's coming to a close now. But this crisis that is giving us a lot of questions. And I know many people are asking, why is this happening? Why is this happening now? Why are we going through this crisis? We wanted to do other things. I got other plans. I got plans for this week. Why is this happening now? And we think and we try to find an answer. Unfortunately, this leads to a lot of conspiracy theories and other stuff that I don't think is very helpful. A lot of speculation because of this and this and this and whatever. But I think that what God is saying is get back to the important things. You will receive power after the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you are going to be my witnesses. Now, God is giving us at this time many opportunities. God is with us now. This is not an accident. It's not that God had got all his agenda planned for 2020 and suddenly this coronavirus came on the scene and threw him. He knew 25 years ago, he knew 250 years ago that this virus would be here in 2020. He knows everything. He is not thrown. And the important thing, what he's got for us, is that today is the day of salvation. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your hearts. We've got to work today. We've got to take the challenges as they come upon us. Many people want to know, what does this mean now, this crisis that we're in? What does it mean? What is it? What is God saying anything now? And I think he's saying, mind your own business. Now, I do teach about the prophetic gift in the church, and we do a lot of training about this, and it's a gift that I really appreciate. Now, the prophetic gift is mainly given for encouragement, for edification, and for comfort. But there is an element of revelation in there. And I've noticed, and when God starts to speak to us, in Revelation, he speaks to us especially about our identity and about our destiny. And a lot of people then they they hear a little bit. God gives one piece of the jigsaw about our destiny, and we want to know everything else. And very often the prophet is asked many questions and he's not a clue. He's just given you the piece of revelation that God has given him. And I think the piece of revelation for today is that we will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon us, and we will be his disciples. Now, as you look at these fields, I remember John, I think it's John chapter 4 and verse 35. Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says, don't you say there's another 3 or 4 months unto the harvest? He says, well, lift your eyes, because now the fields are white, or here they're yellow. Not quite harvest, but these are growing. And he's saying, guys, you're thinking about something that's going to happen in the future, something that you're planning for, some things that you've been hoping for. But listen, I've got news for you. It's not going to happen in 3 or 4 months. It's happening now. I've given you opportunities now. In the midst of this crisis, there are opportunities. And I feel that he's asking us, are we going to get a hold of these opportunities? Are we going to use them? Are we going to step into them? And I hope you're going to say, yes, we're going to do that. I hope you have a good day. I'm looking forward to continuing tomorrow. Bob Hatton from Germany.